Coming up on the show, of course I'll be talking about Nintendo Switch 2, along with a tactic that makes buying games off the eShop much easier. I'll check out the latest games that might have slipped under your radar, like Eternal Strands, Amerzone, and Miss Carmen Sandiego. I investigate the missing PlayStation 5 disc drives in Europe. I go down memory lane with my Xbox consoles. I help you level up in Black Ops 6, and so much more. And get comfy with me, Leroy Chang. It's episode 2 of the Lee's Play Gaming Show. It's the only thing gamers from Rio de Janeiro to Tokyo are talking about, and I'd be a crap game show if I didn't talk about it as well. The naming scheme of Switch 2 has the simplicity of being the latest and greatest, and for that I expect a very focused marketing campaign similar to a smartphone. As for the price, more expensive than a Switch OLED, but cheaper than a Steam Deck. Nintendo has stated they'll be able to manufacture and sell 20 million units this year alone. The challenge is making sure the first 20 million are sold to the right people who will give a great word of mouth for when Nintendo eventually release a cheaper, family-friendly variant. Everything about their launch presentation of Switch 2 tells me they're focusing on the hardcore gamer rather than the cozy gamer. Time will tell if this audience segment was the right focus. Nintendo's removed the colour and fun from Switch 2. Rather than focusing on personality, Nintendo is focusing on ports with dual USB-C connections. I wonder if this will allow peripherals to be connected in the future, like a video chat camera like the PlayStation 5 and its HD camera. In addition, while it teased the new Joy-Con's magnetic design compared to the rail system, it also heavily teases using the Switch 2 controllers like a computer mouse. You won't always have a hard surface to use a mouse, but if you're on the go, you can always fall back on the touchscreen. I wouldn't be surprised if the Switch 2 allows users to connect a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse like the PS5 and Xbox, which would allow ports of more interfacing complex games like The Sims 4 and improving games like Civilization 7 due out on Switch next month. The first Switch sold over 145 million units. That's too big a market for the cozy games and the party games to leave behind. The natural market for Switch 2 to focus on first are the games that can only be played on Switch 2 and the games that can only be optimized for Switch 2. It's no secret that Tears of the Kingdom pushed Switch to its technical limits, so I'd be surprised if there aren't optimizations made for Switch 2. In addition, I hope publishers like Warner Bros. Games revises their titles like the Batman Arkham trilogy, which ran so poorly on Switch, and gives them a new lease of life on Switch 2. While they teased a new Mario Kart that shows up to 24 players, there is no reason that game can't be cross-platform with Switch 1. For that reason, I don't expect a new Mario platformer to come out for Switch 2 until they can manufacture a cheaper model revision that I expect will reintroduce the fun colours. Only then will they release that Mario game, and by that point can reasonably be a Switch 2 only game and not annoy Switch 1 owners. So expect third-party publishers to fill that platforming need for Switch 2 like the remaster of Yooka-Laylee, which the developer themselves heavily teased. To sum up my theory, get ready for a load of single-player games. Nintendo has shown that like Switch 1, it will come with a controller dock for your Joy-Cons. But the best thing you can probably do on release is to pick up a new matching Pro controller, because Nintendo means business. If all the hype for Switch 2 has you motivated to dust off the Switch you already own like me, maybe you're in the mood to play a new game on it. Unfortunately, that means navigating the Nintendo eShop, which is a worse experience than doing your taxes. Packed with shovelware and enough explicit games to have you double checking if you're browsing an X-rated website, it's probably the worst storefront to ever exist. Lucky for us, Nintendo Life is to the rescue with their latest invention, the Better eShop. As the name suggests, it's a better eShop to browse the vast library of Switch games for sale. It currently works for the United States, the UK, and Europe. You can browse the store in dark mode, and there's even a button to bring back the retro Nintendo shopping music. Most importantly, you have complete control over what games to filter out, like shovelware, asset flips, and copycats. My favourite feature is that when you click on a game, if Nintendo Life has reviewed it, they will offer a summary to help inform your purchasing decision. If you're a savvy shopper, this may be too simplistic for you. In that case, you might find Deku Deals more your speed. It has a dark mode, but also a lot more ways to categorise and find the specific type of game you're looking for. When you click on a game, it will even offer you historical price data if you want to keep an eye on a game that could potentially go on sale. It also allows you to view screenshots and see potential bundles it may be included in without opening the Nintendo website. These websites are third party and not affiliated with Nintendo, so double check when you purchase a game you're doing it on Nintendo's website. At last, our days of using the Nightmare Nintendo eShop are over. All we can hope for now is that with the launch of Switch 2, Nintendo steps up their game when it comes to filtering out poor quality titles. While we all wait for Nintendo to bring back their seal of approval, I put my own seal of approval on the better eShop. If you're looking for more Zelda Tears of the Kingdom antics, check out Eternal Strands. This is a fantasy action-adventure where you seek to unravel the secrets of a long-forgotten enclave. It was once a world of thriving sorcery, now left in destruction.
The Surgeborn. They've had us on our back foot for decades. This could mean an all-out war.
Your character is classified as a weaver named Bryn. The game has all the staples of an out-of-time RPG, from furries to an eccentric sidekick. Bryn will swing a sword like Cloudstrife and can aim an arrow like Mulan. A big emphasis is placed on casting incantations. You can chip away with a sword, but it might be far more effective to blast an enemy on fire or freeze their limbs.
Your reckless conduct has unleashed an enemy that nearly destroyed us 27 years ago.
During combat, when faced with a big enemy, rather than chipping away at its ankles, you can simply climb it to find their weak point. When you're not in a fight, you can practically climb everything in the world like Zelda. You'll be able to use your magic powers to help you traverse, like using ice to walk across a pit of lava. As for the boss fights themselves, unlike Elden Ring where they patiently await your arrival, these enemies will roam around the map, so finding them will be as big of a challenge as defeating them. In addition, whatever weather conditions you find yourself in may work in your favour or work against you. If your character isn't skilled enough, the best strategy might be to run away. In your hub area, you can upgrade and customize your character before using a novel moon gate to travel to hostile areas of the map to work through quests. Along with its pretty art style, anime cutscenes move the story forward. While there's conversation dialogue branches, the story seems far more linear. Speaking of story, if there's a potential weak spot of this game, it's that so far the narrative seems rather indiscernible. While the voice acting seems strong, I have absolutely no idea why you're in the land, and Bryn's character motivation hasn't been that well explained from what's been shown by the game marketing so far.
All my life, I was dreaming about becoming a point. It's a chance to make history.
Our people have been in crisis.
Our Weaver Band is here to help. We're ready for anything, no matter what happens.
The game has the scope for mass appeal if it gathers great word of mouth. This is the AA video game that we've desperately needed more of. It's also priced like a AA game, coming in at €40 or $40 US. If you're a PC gamer, there's a free demo on Steam you can play today, and your save data in the demo will cross over if you decide to buy it. And if you're an Xbox gamer, you're in luck, as the game developer has cut a deal with Microsoft to bring it to Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass. Eternal Strands is set for release on January 28.
Let's not lie to each other. I like you.
Can't say the feeling's mutual.
Now it's time to see what video games you all are buying across Europe. With 3 months of sales charts to catch up on, let's kick off with all of Europe in October 2024. The indie boxing breakout Undisputed makes the charts in at number 10. Zelda remains in the spotlight with Echoes of Wisdom coming in at number 9. Grand Theft Auto remains a staple coming in at number 8. Dragon Age The Veilguard has a respectable launch, entering the charts at number 7. Pyramid Head claims position 6 with the release of the Silent Hill 2 remake. More friendships are tested as Super Mario Party Jamboree launches at number 5. Hogwarts Legacy moves up a spot from last month to 4th place. Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero comes in hot at number 3. Can you believe it? EA Sports FC 25 is knocked down to 2nd place. And coming in at number 1, it's the spy thriller juggernaut Black Ops 6. As we check out what folks are buying in November, let's zoom in onto United Kingdom. Unfortunately, this misses the date cutoff for the Black Friday sales, so do keep that in mind. What I can tell you is that 1.53 million games were sold during Black Friday week alone. Mario comes driving in at number 10 with Mario Kart 8. Super Mario Bros. Wonder races forward coming in at number 9. Another Nintendo game, have parents started Christmas shopping? Nintendo Switch Sports comes in at number 8. Releasing the last day of October, Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered owns the month of November, coming in at 7. Super Mario Party Jamboree holds strong at 6. Grand Theft Auto 5 remains a staple for anyone buying a new games console at 5. Hogwarts Legacy remains firmly planted in at number 4. Dragon Age The Veilguard makes a strong showing in Britain, rising to number 3. EA Sports FC 25 sits on the sidelines at number 2. Because Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is too hard to resist, still holding strong at number 1. And finally, let's take a look at another big market, this time Germany, for the month of December to see what the Christmas standouts were. At number 10, the Game of the Year award winner co-op It Takes Two. At number 9, another co-op by the same team, A Way Out. Need for Speed Heat races to number 8. Arthur Morgan plants a flag at 7 with Red Dead Redemption 2. The wheels keep on turning, Farming Simulator 25 is at number 6. Grand Theft Auto 5 remains at number 5. Super Mario Party Jamboree is this year's Christmas family game at number 4. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 gets a bronze medal at number 3. School's in session, Hogwarts Legacy is second place. And to the surprise of no one, EA Sports FC 25 takes the top spot at number 1 last Christmas. If you've ignored the story campaign to shoot zombies, or just haven't gotten around to playing Black Ops 6, how about a tactic that will help you out early on? After the prologue, you will find yourself in a safe house with the option to start a skill tree in training, gear, or weapons. Unfortunately, you will only have enough money for one category. Worst of all, you can't even look at the other categories to see if what's on offer is worth your time and money. So how about a way to unlock all upgrade categories? There's $1,000 hidden in the safe house. Here's how to get it. Facing the operations room, go under the archway to the right, open the door and enter the basement. Facing the equipment, first turn the middle valve twice to empty water from the boiler. Turn the fuel valve once to the middle, then turn the pilot light on. Finally, turn the boiler valve twice to fill with water. With the power on, go back upstairs. Facing the operations room, go to your left. Pick up the black light on the table, then scan the room, beginning with the wall behind the piano. Follow the arrows and note all 5 keys. Then enter them in order on the piano. This will unlock a secret door. Go down the stairs and open the door. Go through the open door and turn right. Use the keypad and follow the directions. I recommend entering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to rule out numbers not needed. Reorder the numbers until you get the correct combination. In the office, find the computer. Then follow the instructions to decode the cipher. Each letter is assigned to a number. The computer will unlock the next area. Leave the lab and turn right. Go through the room on the left with the red light in the window. Open the door and follow the lock-picking guide. In the red room, find the key on the table. Leave the room and turn right. At the junction, turn right. Use the key on this locked door. In the room, approach the radio and follow the instructions. When tuned, listen carefully to the Russian speaker. Using the black light, objects around the room will have numbers on them. Solve the riddle by finding the objects the speaker mentions.
It's not just an ashtray, grandfather said. It's marked with our ancestral crest. I sank into the couch, annoyed at this gift. Grandfather leaned forward in his chair.
The riddle will change game to game. If you're still struggling, here is a list of the most frequent riddles, thanks to Jeremy Blum at Rock Paper Shotgun, who did all the hard work of playing this again and again and again. When you figure it out, leave the basement. Facing the operations room, go right and up the stairs. Turn right and right again. Open the door. In the corridor, open the bedroom to your right. Enter the code from the riddle onto the safe combination. You will be rewarded with $1,000. You are now able to unlock all upgrade paths at Frank Wood's acquisition desk. Now you can see all upgrades on offer so you don't have buyer's remorse. You should also have enough money left to purchase your first skill upgrade. Having access to all skill categories before the main story even begins will allow you to be far more strategic in how you should spend money you find throughout the game. If only there was a spare chunk of change in my bedside table. If If you're a fan of Myst, or tempted to sink your teeth into a hardcore puzzle game, immersing yourself in the jungles of Amerzone the Explorer's Legacy is a game to consider. This is a remake of a point-and-click adventure game from 1999, seeking to find and bring back the last egg of a mythical bird from a country ravaged by a dictatorship. The original game was a cult classic, selling over 1 million copies on PlayStation 1 and PC back in the millennium, and 25 years later gets more than a fresh coat of paint. Everything is now rendered in real time.
Take the egg of the white birds back to Amerzone, I beg you.
The game was created by a Belgian comic book artist and game designer named Benoit Sakal, who based the game on a comic he wrote in 1984. If you heard that name at all, it's because he created the Siberia point-and-click games which have endured for over 20 years. He unfortunately died in 2021, before the release of the new Siberia game, The World Before. Believe it or not, both games are connected, and this serves as a prequel to the Siberia games, before Kate Walker ditched her old life as a lawyer in New York to go running after some mammoths. The gimmick of this game is the Hydra Float, a vehicle specially created to visit the jungle and allows entry by air or water or even underwater. No pad at the ready, your character is a journalist and will have to solve puzzles by pointing and clicking your way to victory. Games of this genre require patience. If you're looking for high action thrills, you won't find it here. I think it would also make a fantastic port for the upcoming Switch 2. If you're looking to escape everyday life and find a new distraction, the Amazon rainforests could be your getaway when the game releases this summer. Best of all, if you're a PC gamer, there's a demo you can download and play today.
Watch this. Check the bass.
Last November had been a big month for Sony. The PlayStation 5 Pro had come out, wowing hardcore Sony fans, but not really anyone else. The 30th anniversary edition had shipped to the lucky few, including myself, but mostly scalpers.
That's right, feel up the bass, feel up the night, right, that's right.
But in Europe, a dark, mysterious conspiracy is starting to take hold. Where have all the PlayStation 5 disk drives gone? Believe it or not, I first wrote this script in November. Apologies for the delay between episodes, but in January it seems my story is still relevant as ever. Gamers around Europe have been ranting online for the past 3 months about the seeming lack of disk drives across the continent. PlayStation Direct don't have any, retailers in Ireland and the UK don't have any, and the same can be said from gamers from Norway to Germany.
Watch the ride, watch the road.
So where have all the disk drives gone? Some are suspecting scalpers, others have started rumours saying retailers are selling them in-store only to avoid scalpers, and worst of all, disk drives have popped up in marketplaces at scalper prices. Gamers in North America and Asia are reporting stock aplenty for the Blu-ray readers. It's no secret that Sony is trying to convince gamers to go digital so they control the marketplace and prices. What you may not know is that in Europe, gamers are slightly more inclined to buy physical compared to Americans. So much so that we are now starting to see European physical games have exclusive benefits you won't get off a disc bought in the United States.
Oh my gosh!
The latest example is the PlayStation 5 re-release of Resident Evil 7. In Europe, more of the game and its DLC is available on disc, whereas in America, you're still redeeming everything with codes. Although I should point out that the Chris Redfield Not a Hero DLC still requires a download on the European version. Will hardcore gamers even buy a PS5 Pro without a disc drive? Local Irish retailer Smith says they will sell you a bundle with a disc drive. The problem is they just don't have any in stock. Why did the Pro console not have a SKU for sale with a disc drive like the Slim model has? Why does Sony think their ideal customer is upgrading from a Slim with a detachable drive when the reality is if you're an upgrading customer, you're coming from the PS4 Pro or the launch model PS5? Is Sony stopping supply to force the hardcore gamer to begin building a digital games library? We sure hope not, but with no supply of disc drives to be found and no official communication from Sony, narratives started to form themselves. The conspiracy continues to grow. At Lee's Play, if I can advise one thing, please don't buy disc drives off scalpers and refrain from purchasing a PS5 Pro until Sony is happy to provide you with a disc drive, even if it's sold separately.
That is absolutely fabulous.
This one might have flown under your radar, but that would be very on point for the world's greatest thief, Carmen Sandiego. In her upcoming new game, she's getting the anti-hero treatment as she accepts a job at Acme to travel the globe and track down Vile operatives. If you're not familiar with Vile, they actually come from the 2019 Netflix cartoon show as an evil pantheon dating back to the medieval era. They have the power to cause economic recessions and cause a hindrance for everyone. As for the name Vile, that's an acronym for Valuable Imports, Lavish Exports. It is a kids game after all. The new game promises to take the Latina heroine to Australia, Egypt, Singapore, Ghana, and India, among others. Carmen herself has made a stop to the Batman Surplus store and will be equipped with a grapple that should promise some fun platforming, along with baby's first Hitman stealth gameplay, and some light puzzle solving. With Astrobot winning Game of the Year, we should be reminded that all ages video games have the potential to be incredibly fun and full of creativity. What's potentially stopping this game from being a success? It is being developed primarily as a Netflix smartphone game, even though it will have a console and PC release, with even physical copies for sale. I must admit that Carmen is not a popular character here in Europe, practically unheard of until you go online. Games created for smartphones have traditionally not scaled up well to being full console game experiences. Carmen Sandiego promises to have a story campaign as well as a classic mode, reminiscent of gameplay from her origins in the 1980s. Carmen Sandiego is due out the 4th of March on all platforms, including the one in your pocket, and if you have a Netflix subscription, you'll get that for free. If you're skint after the holidays but still want to play a new game, there might be some great offerings right under your nose. If you're subscribed to PlayStation Plus, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered has just become available for all members, including those on the Essential tier. Play as a vigilante or cop and escape high-action thrills in the supercar of your choice. More excitingly, if you are a PlayStation Plus Extra member, the highly acclaimed quote-unquote divorced dad action game God of War Ragnarok has landed in the catalogue. If you're new to the series, this is the second installment and you can even catch up on the first game in 2018. The two games combined have about 50 hours of gameplay, or in a more creative metric, half an Elden Ring. Over on Team Green, the BAFTA-winning Chia has landed on Game Pass for members of any tier. This adventure platformer has you exploring an island based off New Caledonia. Explore by land or by water with a raft. You can even control the animals.
That's what time of day really is.
PC gamers, if you're one of the 200 million people subscribed to Amazon Prime, the first-person shooter BioShock 2 Remaster is free until April 12th. And best of all, the code is for GOG, making it DRM free. If you've already played that one, how about Jurassic World Evolution? Available to claim for free until February 25th, it raises the ante on the Roller Coaster Tycoon formula. This one requires an Epic Games Store account. If you find yourself cash and time poor, how about a smartphone game to play on the go? The Netflix app has some hidden games included in your subscription. My favourite is the time-bending thriller 12 Minutes starring James McAvoy and Daisy Ridley. Whatever your taste, a slow month like January is always a good time to hit that back catalogue, or if it's empty, add some new titles to it. Oh, the Xbox. Oh, I never had that one. We were in a PlayStation 2 house. Ah, the Xbox 360, where our journey began. I watched one Tomb Raider commercial where she promised me HD graphics on you.
You'll be seeing more of me soon on Xbox 360.
And thus our relationship began. Then you got the red ring and died on me. Too young to know that had free warranty. Ah, the Xbox 360S. Wait, this was kinda before social media, but why did I and everyone else in the world rush out to buy Skyrim? How did we all even know what Skyrim was? We came with a Kinect 2, that was kind of fun until it wasn't. Also, whatever happened to Milo? Ah, the Xbox One S. I kind of fell out of gaming in my late teens, but I bought you over the PS4 because you had the exclusivity deal for Rise of the Tomb Raider. And I was afraid you'd pull that stunt again for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. They did not. Ah, the Xbox Series X. I bought you the moment I found one in stock, with your promises of next generation graphics and backwards compatibility. but last Christmas, I sold you. Yes, I know this is a gaming channel and I should have all the platforms, but I decided to jump ship to my fancy 30th PS5 Pro I was very lucky to get my hands on. And I don't even miss you. You killed backwards compatibility efforts before bringing back the 2 Buffy games, and there just wasn't a whole lot going on. I paid for a Game Pass subscription but barely used it. But I was fair, and I really gave you a decent shot. What was happening was I was spending all my gaming money on a Game Pass which had no games I actually wanted, and then I had no budget left to go out and buy a bloody new game. Believe it or not, I haven't even signed up for PlayStation Network yet. I'm raw dogging it with those stack of games I bought. I kept a spare Xbox controller. It is the best one for PCs, and you told me cloud gaming was the future, and in fairness, I did squeeze an entire playthrough of Indiana Jones out of my subscription before it expired, using my Mac laptop. No one send us to Mr. G. Dear Phil, I can't help but wonder, what's the strategy, Mr. Big? I mean, Phil, I'm not a console fanboy. If anything, the whole experience has made me console agnostic. I listened and nodded while you discussed your dreams of an Xbox portable, but that's years away. And once Valve, got wind of your plan, they're teaming up with Lenovo for the Legion Go S. And I don't even think I should bring up Nintendo. I would love to go back to Xbox. Mark Cerny yells at me if I accidentally plug out the PS5, and boy do I miss Quick Resume. But they're wooing me with the retro startup theme and people are talking, okay? They're saying games are skipping Xbox entirely. You did write that blog post and sent developers a survey, because that'll work. Let me leave it on this. My photo album has plenty of slots left, but for the time being, I just don't see it, because the other perspective you don't have is that for Sony, it feels like I've come back home, where my gaming journey all began. I do wish you all the best.
Kiss me like the first time, I don't care how this will end.
If you've been eagerly waiting for Capcom to make a sequel to Resident Evil Village, this survival horror could be right up your alley. Dollhouse Behind the Broken Mirror tells the story of a celebrated singer named Eliza D'Amour, who finds herself suffering with memory loss. When a doctor comes promising a cure with a novel new drug, she's encouraged to revisit locations from her past for her best chance of recovery. Unfortunately for Eliza, her past involved inhabiting a mansion filled with creepy dolls and other horrors you'd come to expect from the genre. The story has multiple endings, so your actions will have consequences, with the goal of obtaining fragments of Eliza's memory. The Resident Evil inspirations are all here: inventory management and combining gunpowder to make ammo. The historic mansion will have modern keypad puzzles and every other ridiculous dichotomy we come to expect, but also can't help but enjoy. The appeal of an indie title like this is that for those of you with older computers, it has lenient system requirements, only needing an Nvidia GTX 1060 or AMD equivalent from 2016. This will more than likely be also Steam Deck compatible. This game comes out March 28 for PlayStation 5 and PC. And that concludes my show for the month. I hope you enjoyed watching. I always have a lot of fun putting these together. Subscribe to stay tuned for the next episode, and check out episode 1 if you haven't already. If you have any suggestions or comments on anything shown in the episode, drop a comment down below. Keep safe, keep well, and keep on gaming.